No one can make an intelligent decision without being properly informed. This is why this world wants to control the media. This is why media hype can take you up, take you down. So you don't know anymore who's really good, because the media can make a wicked man look good and make a good man look evil. That is why. Until the dawn, I can't quit. I'm like Saddam, keeping my eye on Clinton, watching each movie he makes. Cause every slither he takes sort of reminds.
In the language of Arabic, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
How you doing, brothers and sisters?
Fine, sir.
Everything all right?
Yes, sir.
We just have a few people here now, and as I said, get the meeting started. So I want to thank Brother Minister Herman and First Lady for the great job they're doing here in the city. I want to start out with that. The city of Denver is on the move in a very good way, you know. And on behalf of the Nation of Islam, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, welcome to Study Group or Mosque number 51, Denver. Thank you. Thanks for coming out. Obviously, you've been here before, right, brother?
Yes, sir.
Not the first time. And sisters, assalamu alaikum, sisters. It's good to be here. I'm a student of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. Some people know me. That's why Minister put me up here. I'm kind of new around here. We want today the lecture the minister's going to speak on is on the Muslim program. We're always on that. We're always teaching on that.
Right.
And today, that's the lecture today. I wanted to talk a few things about Islam in the world, just to start, since people are here, who've been here before. If you notice in the news, the BRICS countries that are following China and Russia, they're mostly Muslim countries. So any countries right now in the West and any countries in the world that go against these countries, they're going against the future of the world. That's where the future is headed. The economic future of the world is headed in favor of Muslim countries. That's one thing the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in his teachings and the Honorable Louis Farrakhan predicted, that this would happen, that Islam would take over the earth. Okay? Another thing, Islam in India right now, they have a prime minister in India that doesn't like Islam, and they use, how right-wingers talk about Islam like it's bad, but most of their trade comes from Muslim countries. See, so, and they're joining with America, India. So you might see some Indian people that come from India come over here have kind of racist attitudes, some of them, because of this. Because in their country, they push right-wing agendas. But it's falling apart, and Islam is coming in favor on the whole earth, And so, what I'm seeing, is Allah is slowly elevating the Nation of Islam from this nation here in America to the pinnacle of success for the whole world to see that the nation and the teaching's been right all along, been right and exact, and Allah came on time.
That's right.
As my wife is saying all the time, Allah didn't come before time or after time, He came on time.
That's right, yes sir.
Timing is everything, right?
Yes sir.
Timing is everything. And so I'm just trying to, assalamu alaikum, sisters, that the Islam is not just us here and sitting in this city, and going through our, growing problems and pains. Islam is a worldwide, universal thing, and Minister Farrakhan has been to almost every country on earth except the North Pole, teaching these teachings that we're representing here.
That's right.
And there's no garment like the sisters' garments. Those garments were specially designed.
That's right.
When I first joined the nation in 1985, 86, around there, there's a Filipino man, we went selling papers and he recognized us. He said, "You with the old man." And he gave brother $20, they respect the messenger's teachings, they respect this garment, the uniform.
Yes, sir.
Not, sisters can't just wear anything. Or like brothers, we can't just wear anything. It's a uniform.
Right.
But everything about the Nation of Islam is specially designed to take over this earth.
Come on.
And to be number one, to be superior, to be the best. And that's why we're here, because the Honorable Louis Farrakhan invited us to this.
Yes, sir.
We don't know the Honorable Elijah Muhammad like that. I don't. I'm a baby. 64 years old. But, brother, let me open up, and all I can do is just bear witness that Islam is taking over the earth. Look at our minister here.
That's right.
Look at him and his beautiful wife.
That's
First Lady.
right.
What they're making moves.
That's right.
Muslims don't wait for no permission, man.
Come on.
Muslims don't play when they make their mind up. We all have our problems, but you got to see the Minister Farrakhan is an example of this.
Yeah.
And that's the Muslim program.
Yes.
Brother, get yourself a wife if you don't have one.
Yes, sir.
It ain't going to be easy, but the problem is worth it, if you have the right one.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of brothers out here talking about don't get a woman, black woman, but you know what? I'm going to stick with the black woman.
Come on,
That's
that's right.
Especially
Stick
with
with us,
MG
brother.
tonight. Stick with the sister.
Stick with the black woman.
Because nobody cared about our people till Allah came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad and showed love.
That's right.
And not that, that kind of love of coddling you and that, no. It's a love that's based on knowledge. Knowledge of self,
Sir.
of your inner self. That's what I appreciate about the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, about the Nation of Islam, is that we're given tools so we can handle things in the real world.
Right.
Because everything starts with the mind.
Yes, sir.
Like we look at the lessons all the time in the Supreme Wisdom. And it talks about how far planets are, and the weight of an atom and all these things. You wonder,
Right.
what is all this about? This was in 1930.
Right.
1933, there was a man that came to Detroit. Now, who was going around any black neighborhood in 1933
Right.
talking about things that Albert Einstein and John Archibald Wheeler
That's right.
and Max Planck and all those physicists were talking about when they met in 1924 at them colleges, talking about what an atom is, what is a proton, what is a radius of an atom. Master Farad Muhammad came and gave that to black people.
Right.
And I think, not to be arrogant, but sometimes I think we're still kind of talking about the lessons in a baby kind of way. As far as the numbers and the metrics of the lessons, like the distances and this man's trying to expand our mind with numbers.
Yes, sir.
When you go to school, any college people here, you got to deal with numbers, right?
Right.
Yes, sir.
Especially if you go into engineering, nursing, you got to deal with measuring things.
Yes.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we got the answers to his tests. Can you imagine if you were a nurse and you got answers to all the tests, the right answers,
Come on.
and when you go take the test, you pass.
Come on, bro.
Or you're a doctor or a lawyer to pass the bar, you get all the answers. The messenger of God gave us the answers to the tests.
Right.
I try to study him. I try to read him. I try to get up and pray.
Yes,
This is what this is about. It's a self-improvement program.
Yes, sir.
Not just self-improvement like get nice clothes and cars. That's part of it. But the inner, surface to volume. What is inside? What is the volume inside of you? If you study an atom, it has a surface and it has volume inside of it. The energy comes from inside of it to the outside. Just like you and me. We take outside information and we bring it inside. And we do something with it, positive or negative.
Come on.
So Allah came to us in the person of Master Farad Muhammad to give us a program of self-development, self-improvement for a man and a woman. See, It's like we're given the tools to grow.
Right.
We're given the basic math and the metrics to fit the woman, the black woman, to fit her to the black man.
That's right.
In a different way than we've been told to fit each other.
Right.
So we gotta let go of some shapes we have in our mind. Like if you have a geometric shape, you know, and you want to fit another one into it, just like a puzzle, it has to have a side that fits. So the black woman is this woman, the metric, the exact reverse metric of this shape of the black man, because Allah said He created us in the best of molds,
That's right.
in the best of shapes.
That's right.
And that's not just physical, that's spiritual and emotional. So sometimes we might not like what we hear of the teachings, or it might rub us wrong, but it's teaching us how to relate to one another properly, so that we can have this beautiful nation that we see the Honorable Louis Farrakhan raising.
That's right.
All praise is due to
All
Allah.
praise is due to Allah.
So good to see the brothers here. These brothers, I know they were out pushing, you know, but we're not doing this for a church business. This is not a church.
Right.
This is a nation,
That's right.
and it has a program. This is a nation that believes in God. And you know what I learned?
What you like?
Can I say something personal?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
I came to the nation around 1985, 86, around there. I used to write Minister Farrakhan these long, rambling, crazy letters. And you know, back in the day. And I would never think he would read them or something. You know, I mean, I actually handed the letter to him. And one time I had a hand-delivered letter to him because a older minister delivered it to him, and he read it. And so the first time we saw the minister speak in Los Angeles at the mosque, he quoted something out of my letter when I was wondering if he received it.
Uh-oh. Go ahead.
This is real.
Yes, sir.
I was wondering, did he read my letter? He quoted something. I told a brother. And then later on, you know, he quoted something, but later on at the restaurant there, the Salam West, the minister came and was standing right behind me with his hands on my chair. And my wife at the time said, look, and I turned, and it was Minister Farrakhan with his hands on my chair. Can I tell this? You mind? It's personal. So the minister standing with his hand on the back of my chair, and I jumped up and I gave him the greetings. I'd never met him before. That's the first time. And he gave me the greeting. He had his son Joshua with him. And he said, brother, and the people in the Salam West didn't stand up and nothing. They just we just talked. So I stood up and I told him, I wrote you that letter. And he said, yes, brother, that was he told me it was a very good letter, a great letter. And he said he wanted to talk to me. And I said, when? Now? He said, no, sir. I'm going to talk to you when I come to San Diego in a couple of months. So when he came to San Diego, he talked to me and he told me he wanted me to be a minister. And he was very emphatic about it. And that's what started me on this journey.
Yes, sir.
And I want to continue on it with the help of Allah. So at this time, are you ready, Brother Minister?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I don't want to take more time, but brothers and sisters, we want to receive the representative of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam. Please give him a round of applause, Brother Minister Herman Muhammad.
Keep going for Brother Jamal. Let us first start by saying, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. I bear witness that Muhammad is His messenger. As students of religion, as citizens of this wonderful planet that we call Earth, we thank Allah, God, for all of His prophets, all of His messengers, all of His great ones, all of the scriptures that they brought. So we thank Allah for Abraham and Moses and Aaron and the Israelite prophets and the divine revelation of the Torah or the Old Testament. We thank Allah for Jesus and His apostles and the divine revelation of the Injil, the Gospel, the New Testament. We thank Allah for Prophet Muhammad ibn Abdullah of 1400 years ago and the divine revelation of the Holy Quran. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon each and every one of these worthy servants of His. As students of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we can never thank Allah enough for His divine intervention in our affairs. That's important. For He intervened in the affairs of black people here in the hills of North America in the divine person of Master Fard Muhammad, the great Mahdi. We thank Him for upon His arrival, He raised one from amongst us, a Georgia-born black man who only went to the 4th grade of school, but who has become the most powerful human being to ever walk the planet besides God Himself. And that is the most honorable Elijah Muhammad.
That's right.
But if I live to be 1,000, I personally could never thank Allah enough for leaving one in our midst. A leader, a teacher, a guide, a reminder to us that God is present and in the world. He is the individual I'm striving to represent to you today. He is an exemplary human being.
Yes, that's right.
Righteous, loving, caring. He loves us more than we love ourselves.
That's right.
He is the Messiah in our midst. He is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It is in their names on this Easter Sunday that we greet you in the greeting words of peace. We say, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, sir.
How's everyone feeling?
Fine, sir.
Praise be to Allah. And Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Kareem, sir.
How's everyone's fast?
Great, terrific, sir.
Praise be to Allah. I love it. I love it. I love it. Before we start, I just want to make a disclaimer. And that is, we're not here, of course, to make mockery. We're not here to entertain. What we're here to do is to enlighten, to inspire, to edify, to give you something that you can use.
Right.
We want you to learn something today. If you go to a church or a spiritual house and you don't learn nothing, you're really wasting your time.
Facts.
That's right.
Don't go there no more.
Yes, sir.
And if you don't learn nothing here today, don't come back.
That's right.
Because that is our intention, is to give you something that is going to make you better. That's the purpose of religion, or at least it should be. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Let me do a little bit of housekeeping. For all things Nation of Islam, visit NOI.org. If you want to get the latest and the greatest, the biggest and the baddest, the blackest and the boldest news, you can use the greatest newspaper on the earth, the Final Call newspaper. Go to finalcalldigital.com and subscribe. And for all things Nation of Islam Denver, go to noidenver.org. Now, our subject today, even though it's Easter Sunday, we're going to talk about Easter a little bit. All praises be to Allah. And it's going to tie in, if it be the will of Allah. Our subject today, though, is the Muslim program. The Muslim program. Everybody want to know what the Muslims want and what the Muslims believe. And if it be the will of Allah, we're going to share with you that today. But before we get into it, y'all know it's Easter Sunday. Praise be to Allah. It don't seem like it though, right? It's just snuck up. Just snuck up. And we have to have a Muslim program because Easter is part of another man's program that we've been subjected to. Is that right? A lot of us grew up, and on this day, Easter Sunday, you know, moms would take us to the mall or the J.C. Penney's, or I'm gonna date myself, or Montgomery Woods or something like that. Get you some new little, a new little suit, some new little shoes. Mom would get a new little Easter hat. You know what I'm saying? We all get dressed up and we go to church and we'll listen to the preacher hoot and holler. And then after the service, we go and have some ham and some mac and cheese and have an Easter egg hunt later on that day. And it was all supposed to be in celebration of the resurrection of Jesus the Christ.
Come on.
Is that right?
That's right.
But now, it seems, and I'm a barber by profession, so usually, it used to be years ago, Easter weekend, oh, it'd be packed, jam-packed. You know, mama's bringing their babies to get their haircuts for church on Sunday that they're going to attend for the first time this year. But now, it's like, ever since the pandemic, maybe even a little bit before that, they're not going to church like that no more. And I think that in large part is because the man of sin, the son of perdition, is being revealed.
That's right.
And so people recognize the man. First off, why is it called Easter? If it's dealing with the resurrection, why is it called Easter?
Teach. Come on.
If Easter is supposed to celebrate the resurrection of Jesus the Christ, resurrection essentially means, in layman's terms, his rebirth.
That's right.
He died, right? And now he's reborn again. That's what resurrection means.
Yes, sir.
So if we have a birthday or a rebirth date, hey, mine is on May 28th. It don't change. Every year. But this Easter thing seems to change every single year. Is that right? So why is that? So Easter, just a little bit about Easter. Okay, so what is Easter? Easter is one of the principal holidays or feasts of Christianity. It marks the resurrection of Jesus 3 days after his death by crucifixion. For many Christian churches, Easter is the joyful end to the Lenten season of fasting and penitence. The Council of Nicaea under Constantine in 325 decreed that Easter should be observed on the first Sunday following the first moon after the spring equinox, March 21st. Easter, therefore, can fall on any Sunday between March 22nd and April 25th. Now wait a gosh darn minute. It can fall on any of those days.
Okay.
Right? Okay. It marks the resurrection of Jesus 3 days after his death by crucifixion. Okay, so there's so many different problems we have with this, and I'm going to just give you a few of them. First of all, the man died on Friday, right? A Friday evening, according to Christian scholars. And they called it a good day. Ain't that what they call it? Good Friday.
Good Friday.
I have a problem with that, first of all.
That's good about it.
Because he's a righteous human being giving his life, and you're going to call it a good day? But one of the first things that really convinced me of the truth that the Nation of Islam teaches was I heard an Easter lecture delivered by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in 1989.
That's the one.
And the minister pointed out, he said, man, look, Islam is mathematics. And mathematics is Islam. And it can be proven at no limit of time.
Come on.
It marks the resurrection of Jesus 3 days after his death by crucifixion.
Teach him.
Let's count together.
Teach him.
Let's count together. Baby math class, because if he passes away on a Friday evening, from Friday evening to Saturday evening is 1 day. From Saturday evening to Sunday evening is 2 days. But wait a minute. He rose on Sunday morning. So he didn't even make it to 2 days.
That's right.
It's 1.5 days and he's up. Got a problem with it, right? First off, let me clear some things up about the resurrection. Resurrection, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teach us, is not, the resurrection that the scripture was talking about was not a physical resurrection.
Teach.
Resurrection refers to something mental and to something spiritual.
That's right.
That's right.
Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Don't nobody dare get up out the ground.
That's right.
It never has happened in the annals of human history. I want y'all to think about it. It's never happened before. There's no recorded history of anybody ever getting up out of a physical grave. This flesh that we have is finite. Is that right?
That's right.
You know, when my mom passed away, may God be pleased with her. Her body had been so riddled with disease, with cancer, that she was like, her wishes was burn me, cremate me. Because she was saying, and she was a Christian woman, but she said, God can't do nothing with this body. This body is done. She realized that her flesh was finite. It was over. And she said, I don't want to get up in this body anyway, right? So I'm making that point to say, my mama ain't getting up and yours ain't either. Big mama not getting up, big papa not getting up. Ain't nobody getting up once you go down into that earth. But if we are dead mentally,
Come on.
if we are dead spiritually, oh man, all we have to do is hear a word
That's it.
and it'll get us up.
That's right.
And to be dead mentally and spiritually just mean you not doing nothing. Y'all understand it?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
The Council of Nicaea under Constantine. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
We're gonna learn today. All praises.
Please.
This is the young man Constantine. This is a depiction of Constantine. Now, what does he have to do with Jesus and the resurrection?
Nothing.
What does he have to do with it? Listen, when Jesus died 2,000 years ago, there was no such thing shortly after his death as a story of his resurrection. There was no such thing as an official record of a virgin birth, so to speak.
Come on.
All of this developed under the leadership of Constantine.
Teach it. Say it again.
Constantine was an emperor in Rome. Now look, Jesus was Jesus lived in Jerusalem and Egypt and in the Middle East. What did the Romans got to do with it? 300 years after, 325 years to be exact, after the death of Jesus, Constantine became the emperor of Rome. The official religion of Rome at that time was Christianity. But Constantine was a pagan. He did not believe in the teachings of Jesus Christ or any of the other prophets for that matter. But it was politically expedient for Constantine to become a Christian as the emperor of Rome.
Right.
So, because he's the king, and he had divine rights of kings, he implemented a little bit of paganism into Christianity, not only to make it palatable for himself, but to make it palatable for all the rest of the pagans who lived in Rome.
That's right.
So that's why, when we go back to the beginning of Easter, starts a lecture on, or pieces on the Muslim program and how important it is. And this article is written by a sister, Anissa Muhammad, and it's entitled "The Muslim Program Presents the Divine Solution for America." Right? And so the minister goes on to say, the first 3 points of what the Muslims want address the desire for a full and complete freedom, equal justice under the law, and equality of opportunity. So we're going to go through these one by one. And we won't get through the entire Muslim program, but we just want to give you a peek at it, all right? And again, we'll make sure you get that Final Call newspaper and study those points. So the first point is number 1 of what the Muslims want, because you have what the Muslims want and you also have what the Muslims believe. And the first one is, we want freedom. We want a full and complete freedom. That sounds very simple, don't it? Right? And you might be saying, well, brother, we live in America. I'm already free. You might think that, because America gives you the illusion of freedom. It gives you the false illusion of freedom.
That's right.
Because most of us don't even know what freedom actually is. Most of us we think that because we can do whatever we want, that's freedom. But that's not freedom. That's what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has taught us. That's called license.
There you go.
When you can do whatever it is that you want, that's license. Freedom produces life. Like, I don't get it, brother Herman.
Teach, brother. Just teach.
Freedom produces life. Behind me, I have
There you go.
the flag of Islam, right? The flag of Islam is represented by the red, which represents the sun.
Yes.
A crescent moon, which represents equality. A star, which represents justice. But that red that represents the sun represents freedom.
That's right.
That's right.
I say freedom produces life because we learn, we know, and we understand that if we did not have a sun, would none of us be here.
That's right.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us that the sun represents freedom because it gives light to any and everything that is under its power. And that includes everything in this particular solar system. That's not just Earth. That's 9 other planets.
That's right.
That it causes, when the light from the sun strikes each planet, this particular planet at its equator, it causes the planet to spin at 1,037 1/3 miles per hour.
That's right.
On its own axis.
Right.
And everything that it strikes, it gives life.
That's right.
Are y'all hearing me?
Yes, sir.
It gives the plants life and causes photosynthesis. It gives everything that we see its particular color.
Teach on Easter.
Are y'all hearing me?
Yes, sir.
It represents freedom because it gives life.
Teach on.
So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he says, we want a full and complete freedom. And that freedom, he says, when it's complete and full, it gives you everything you need to be a complete human being. We want a full and complete freedom, not the foolishness that we're talking about here with our former slave masters and their children. A full and complete freedom is a freedom that fully develops the talents and gifts of the human being and shows them how to expose their gift, exploit their gift for the glory of the giver of that gift.
That's right.
Teach. That's right.
I want you to think that over, because you free, but what are you doing with your freedom? Are y'all hearing me?
Yes, sir.
See, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teach us that each and every one of us have a gift that has been given to us by Allah. Many of us have more than one.
That's right.
But it's a gift that each and every one of us can perform perfectly.
Yeah. That's right.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
And that gift that you can perform perfectly not only gives you life, but it also gives life to others whom you affect. Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
We don't have a full and complete freedom in America.
Right. Say that.
If you're working a 9-to-5 job that you hate, how do you call yourself free? That is not free. If you don't enjoy freedom of expression, if you can't go where you want to go and not worry about how you're gonna pay for it, how is it that you're free?
Not free. That's not free.
Are y'all hearing me?
Yes, sir.
So we want a full and complete freedom. But you see how that's universal?
Yes, sir.
Like that don't apply just to us.
Teach.
Everybody should have that.
Teach.
But the problem in this country is only a few have freedom,
Right.
while the masses are underneath suffering.
That's
Is that right?
That's right, sir.
Praise be to Allah. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Next one. Number 2. We want justice. Equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, regardless of creed or class or color. Man, that's so powerful. But here's the interesting thing, because this is what we want. This is part of the Muslim program. As human beings who are striving to submit our wills to do the will of God, this is part of the program that we want.
Right.
We want justice.
Right.
Equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, regardless of creed or class or color. Even though white folks have done us dirty as all get out,
That's right.
we still want them to have justice.
Right.
Is that right?
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Why wouldn't we? But the question is, under this particular system of things, in this particular program that we find ourselves in, once we walk out this door, do we get justice? I mean, think about it. Because we want this, but man, think about all of those that we've lost. So, on the second point, Minister Farrakhan asked the listeners, if black people could get that type of freedom and justice under the political, economic, and social systems of white America, if we can't get it under them, why are we wasting time trying to be with our former slave masters in a political reality that cannot guarantee us what we need to be ourselves? So when we say no justice, no peace, well, you haven't had no justice, so now you don't have any peace. What good is life when you don't have peace? So how do you get peace, he further added? You get peace by living and setting up a system of laws that are in harmony with your nature. Laws that cause you to grow like this body grew.
That's right. That's right. Teach.
See, the reality is, we never had justice under this political system. Ever. And we never will. But this is still something that we want, so we've got to set up our own system of justice. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Are y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, praise be to Allah. Number 3. Man, all this stuff sounds so good. We want equality. Equality of opportunity. We want equal membership in society with the best of society. Now this is incredible. It really is. When you talk about wanting equality of opportunity. And all of these things that we're talking about in this Muslim program, black people have been chasing. We've been chasing this the whole time we've been in this country.
That's right.
It's true, sir.
I mean, think about that. Equality of opportunity. We just want a fair shake.
That's right.
A even playing ground.
That's right.
We want to start on, if we're going to run a 50-yard dash, man, look, we want to start on the starting line just like you're starting on the starting line.
That's right.
But the problem has been, we starting on the starting line, and they put the white boy 25 yards ahead.
Exactly.
And then they say, what is you complaining about? We let you in the race.
Until we win.
And we still, to Brother Jude's point, we still be winning. You know what I'm saying? But the overwhelming majority of us are not winning. We're still struggling because we don't have that equality of opportunity.
That's right.
And all we want is a fair shake. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So, the minister said, can we get equality under this current system? And he answered, I don't think so. Do you? Right? So, we can't get equality of opportunity under this current system, which brings us to point number 4. I love this one.
Foundation.
All right, now that's a lot.
That's the culture, man.
We want our people in America whose parents or grandparents were descendants of slaves to be allowed to establish a separate state or territory of their own, either on this continent or elsewhere. We believe that our former slave masters are obligated to maintain and supply our needs in this separate territory for the next 20 to 25 years until we are able to produce and supply our own needs. Since we cannot get along with them in peace and equality, after giving them 400 years of our sweat and blood and receiving in return some of the worst treatment human beings have ever experienced, we believe our contributions to this land and the suffering forced upon us by white America justifies our demand for complete separation in a state or territory of our own. Man, that's a mouthful. That's a mouthful. But that is exactly what it is that we need.
Yes, sir.
Now, understand, look at how that worked too. Because this is the fourth point of what the Muslims want. 4, of course, is foundation.
That's
That's
right.
right.
See, as Muslims who are believers in God, if we know that the system that we're currently under is run by the devil or Satan
himself,
why would we want to be in that system? That's the question. Why in the helicopter would we want to be in that particular system? The answer is we wouldn't.
Right.
So we want separation.
Yes, sir.
The most honorable Elijah Muhammad was so brilliant with this point. Because look how he did it. He said, we want our people in America whose parents or grandparents were descendants of slaves to be allowed to establish a separate state or territory of their own, either on this continent or elsewhere. Look, he's talking directly to those of us who have been affected most by white supremacy and the institution of slavery.
Right.
He said, man, look, you've been affected. So you should have a separate state on this in this country,
That's right.
on this continent, or elsewhere. It really don't matter where. Because the whole earth belongs to the original man. Is that right?
That's right.
The whole earth belongs to us. So wherever we go, it's going to be the right place.
That's right.
Right.
Sir.
But our blood and our sweat are here.
Right.
So it says the second part is controversial. This will make white folks turn their nose up. We believe that our former slave masters are obligated to maintain and supply our needs in this separate territory for the next 20 to 25 years until we are able to produce and supply our own needs. And that gets white folks' panty all up in a bunch. Because, for one, that's what you call reparations.
That's right.
That's what you call repairing the damage.
That's right.
And all of this, of course, is contingent upon the fact that we have not received the first 3 wants.
That's right. That's right.
Because we didn't receive the first 3 wants, this is where we get to. You don't get no freedom. You don't get no justice. You don't get no equality of opportunity. But damn, I don't want to be here no more.
That's right.
It makes sense, don't it? If you're in a relationship with a brother, sisters, and man, this dude is whooping on you every day. He taking your check. He kicking the babies in the behind. He's slapping the dog. And you can't even reason with this cat at all. You better separate from him.
That's right. That's right.
You gotta go. Because otherwise, 1 or 2 things are gonna happen.
Tell him, brother.
He either gonna kill you, or you gonna do a Farrah Fawcett and do a burning bed on his behind. Y'all remember that movie? I'm hating myself today. It's one of those things gonna happen. So you gotta make a decision. We have to make a decision. We haven't been able to get what it is that we need.
Right.
But we've contributed everything to this country.
Right.
And that's the cold part.
That is the truth. Come on.
That's the cold part. They actually came and got us. Look, since we cannot get along with them in peace and equality after giving them 400 years of our sweat and blood and receiving in return some of the worst treatment human beings have ever experienced. Look, 400 years, they didn't come and get no no savage Negroes living in huts in Africa with bones in their noses. They lying.
That's right.
They came and got the most advanced group of human beings that the world had ever seen. They came and got the builders of all civilization. They came and got the builders of pyramids.
That's right.
How else could they have built everything that they built in this country?
Come on.
You know, there's a book, a series of books that the Nation of Islam Research Department put together called The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews. And in it, the research team writes about how during the times of slavery, you never saw a white man with a hammer. Ever. Ever. They didn't build nothing. They didn't know how to build. Right. I mean, the entire layout for Washington, D.C. was laid out by a black man, Benjamin Banneker. Man, they didn't get no ignorant slaves. They didn't get slaves from Africa.
That's right.
We became slaves once we got here.
Teach.
Look, man, it's time for separation, and they got to pay. Look, this is law.
Time.
This is law. This came from the Lord of the world.
That's right.
Are y'all hearing me?
Yes, sir.
See, look, it's a Muslim program because at the end of the day, and we're reading our Quran, all praise is due to Allah. At the end of the day, everyone has to submit to Allah.
That's right.
Everything. The birds make obese.
That's right.
The animals make obese. The sun, the moon, the stars subservient.
That's right.
The only one who's not is the rebellious devil.
That's right. That's right.
But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, he don't even have a choice. He got to submit willingly or unwillingly.
Go ahead.
But he got to submit. This is law.
That is the teaching.
Man, y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Getting excited, man. Praise be to Allah. But the minister in this address to the Nubian circle, when he spoke on this point, he emphasized the point of them giving us land.
Right.
He emphasized that. When the time comes for the enemy to give reparations,
When it comes.
because he's being forced, don't let them give you no money.
Just money. Yes, sir.
Yeah, don't let them give you no money. The money is not worth the paper that it's printed on.
That's right.
Money is look at it. Take your dollar out and look at it. It says Federal Reserve Note. It's not backed by anything. It's not backed by silver. It's not backed by gold. It's not backed by anything except for the labor of the American people. But at the end of the day, the most important thing that we can have is land and property.
Right. That's right.
Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Look, land is the most valuable asset you can have on this earth. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad talked about gold being the medium of exchange when this thing falls. But at the end of the day, gold comes out of where? Out of the land. So land is what it is that we need. Land is wealth. Land is the key. Land is where you and I came from.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Is that right?
That's right.
We came right up out of the earth. And to the earth we shall return. But as we build our nation, all praise is due to Allah, we're going to need some land. So, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the land should have an outlet to the sea. It should be fertile and minerally rich. This is what they owe. Y'all all right?
Yes,
sir.
Yes, sir.
Praise be to Allah. So these are the first 4 points. And I wanted to get to this one because this is foundational, right? And it's going to be key in order for us to move the way that we're supposed to move. And the Nation of Islam is such a beautiful entity. God's nation is such a beautiful entity. Because there have been times in our history where black people did for self and acquired land. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
We could talk about Tulsa. We could talk about Rosewood. I read an account where there were literally well over 100 black independent towns throughout America, mostly in the South.
Yes, sir.
And the enemy, out of jealousy, out of envy, out of just being a plain old devil, would come and burn these towns down and kill and hang the people. And, you know, we just became victims of white supremacy again and again and again. But thankfully, Allah, when He came and raised the Nation of Islam, He taught us that whatever it is that we build, and this is a principle that we all should take into consideration. Dead serious. Whatever reality that you build, you better be able to defend it.
That's right.
If you're gonna have any land, you better have you some soldiers.
That's right.
And the Nation of Islam that's one thing we got plenty of. We got soldiers, male and female.
That's
Look
right.
at you. I mean, our culture is military.
That's right. Go ahead.
And so the Nation of Islam, that's why I'm emphasizing and saying that, and we're running up on it at a time, but the Nation of Islam has a solution to every problem that all of humanity face.
Yes, sir.
We really do. But you just have to take a closer look at the program and what it's really about. Y'all all right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Praise be to Allah. So, the beautiful thing about the Muslim program, and we're going on to the next point, we'll say that for the next time, is we all could take this program and make it our own. Is that right?
Yes.
We all can internalize this particular program in our hearts. That's why it's on every issue of the Final Call newspaper. We all, every single one of us, have an opportunity to take the solutions that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan are offering us. But we just have to have the courage and the will to do so. Is that right? So listen, I'm gonna say Happy Easter.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Ramadan.
Really appreciate that, brother.
I'm gonna say Ramadan Mubarak,
Ramadan Kareem, sir.
and I'm gonna say Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
Peace, everybody. It's your brother Herman Supreme Style Muhammad. Just wanted to drop in and let you know what we have going on. In addition to our community work, that we've been doing for years. And in addition to being the sole proprietor of Supreme Style Barbershop, where we've been serving the community for close to 25 years, now we've partnered up with an insurance company called Ethos in an effort to help our people with life insurance. That's something that we all need. I know it's something that we don't want to think about, but it is something that we all need if we want to leave anything to our loved ones when we leave this space. So do me a favor, click on the link or go to our website astar2.com and click on the Ethos page. We'll see you on the other side.